Hello, love. Welcome to Soul Support Sunday. These are soul support messages for the highest and the greatest good of the Elsh Collective, empaths, light workers, star seeds, and healers, awakened and awakening souls. Know that if this message has found you, or if you have found it, depending on how you see it, that there is something here for you. I'm going to get right into it. Not popping any cards today, although I do have the giant Rider-Waite-Smith Pamela's Genius out here to show you a certain card, and cards perhaps we're going to see how this goes. This is more of a channeled message that I would like to share with you. Not working with any crystals here either today. That may come through later is what they're telling me. Commander Ashtar, the energies of Christ. And I'm also feeling a very strong Venusian energy connected to them as always coming through this message. And part of this is having to do with feeling scattered. Our energy's feeling very scattered right now, feeling lost. Wobbling, shaking. I'm just going to read off of my notes here. Questioning your journey, questioning your path, your purpose, what it is you're here to do, right? On your mission and on your journey, okay? Even the camera's like off center and I have to fix it, right? And as I was writing this, like, I could just physically feel wobbling going on right now. Commander Ashtar, the energies of Christ, Jesus Christ, and the Venusian energies coming through here to offer support for this. And I'm just going to read off of my notes and what came through them. So speaking collectively here, okay? The wobbling is part of the journey. The axis tilts and is never really ever still. Like the tree rooted, branches reach up to the sky. Windy moments, windy days come and go. Paths cross and timelines shift, but we stay rooted. Desire. Your desires are your barometer. Desires of your heart and soul. These are the deep desires you are born with, the desires templated into your soul, not the fleeting desires that can be warped and used against you. Desires that put one person against the other, that pit one person against the other. Desires to be right over another. Desires to fall into judgment against another. Desires to separate, divide, and conquer. And that's where it ended. They showed me these desires to be right over another, to pit another person against another. They showed the devil card to me from tarot for this. And actually they're directing me to pull that one out too. I didn't really think I'm gonna quickly get that out for a second here, because what they really want us to understand here is how these desires are being manipulated. They're being manipulated to create more division. This has been an ongoing thing, okay? This is not anything new. And what they really want us to focus on here is the difference between judgment and discernment. And I'm going to get to that in a second, okay? So directing me now to the figures here who are chained to this block with this devil-like figure, okay? This is separation consciousness. They're showing me that it is essentially us chained to the indoctrination, the programming, the way that we have been presented things. They're also connecting this to Mama Gaia. So they're connecting these chains to... Okay, this is going to go. I hope that I can do a good job here of... Okay, they're telling me just forget about that and continue to talk, okay? Because lately the messages that have been coming through have been very layered, and they go very, very deep into understanding, first and foremost, the frequency, the energy of Mama Gaia, the powers that were, coming back to this powers that were, how they have for many, many, many millennia been using the fabric of this old matrix, is what they're showing me, to manipulate how we see things, to manipulate the information we get, to manipulate our judgment, to manipulate our discernment. This is where we start to feel, and this is how it's connected to energies being scattered. Because when our energies, and this goes back to the message that came through for Friday. So the last message that I posted, where there was this derailment, I kept on hearing that word, trying to derail us. And this was directed specifically at empaths through the emotional body. And this has so much to do with seeing beyond the surface. Because in my own personal experience, I have people calling me crazy because of the things that I'm speaking about, right? And what that essentially shows me, and what spirit is showing me through these interactions with others, is that they are seeing things from a very physical, 3D, old matrix perspective. They are seeing things from, I see what I see, and that's it. I see what's going on around me. These are energies, these are people, souls who are still very much focused on what they're seeing in the news, what they're essentially being spoon-fed, is what I'm hearing from the news. Like, I'm seeing, they're giving me a visual. And this is things we've seen. I've seen this like in cartoons and in editorials, like where they use images of people just sitting in front of a television and the light. And I'm hearing like false light here. This light coming out of, and they mean it specifically here as like, this is not the light of consciousness. This is not the true light of consciousness. This is not the true light of connected to questioning things, questioning what you see physically in front of you. This is how the majority of our history on Mama Gaia has been like. There's always been a figure kind of up on this sort of pseudo pedestal who is telling us what to believe, what to think. And people are just taking it in. And, you know, going back to the third eye and opening the third eye, this is another way. Too much of this light, this false, this light, for lack of a better way of putting it, like, I'm hearing even false premonitions. Take that however it resonates, okay? False ideas. And they keep on showing it to me like light coming off of a screen. Like that blue light that you see coming off of a screen. You know, when you like at night, when you're walking outside, let's say you're having an evening walk, it's nighttime, the sun's already gone down, right? And you're walking, you know, in your neighborhood, and you look in briefly to a house and you see the window, and maybe like you still can see within the house, right? And all you see is the light from the TV flashing. That's how they're showing it to me. That you are taking in, most people, if you're not aware, this is the thing, because they want to distinguish here awareness versus unawareness, awakened versus unawakened, okay? That most, when you are interacting, and this is specifically for those of us who see beyond this, okay, in order to understand where other souls might be coming from. This goes back to having discernment, understanding, and compassion. Compassion for, they're actually showing it to me for more ourselves in dealing with people who do not get this, and compassion for them as well. Because this is a very Christed way, path, is how they're showing it to me. It's a liberation. It's a liberation from being stuck, because we can get triggered. We can get, and this is where that they keep on showing me these chains. We can get triggered by what we are hearing from people, how they are responding to us. And that is actually none of our business. We are meant to continue to stand in our light. And you know what's crazy is the sun is at the bottom of the deck here. I need to just the way that I was looking through the cards to get this double card out. Isn't that interesting, right? From this to this, you know, from this to this. We are here to ground, anchor, stand, root our light. And they're showing me that tree again, that no matter how windy the day is, that tree stays intact no matter what. You know, branches may fall. We go through different seasons is what they're showing me as well. You know, this goes back into connected to the cycles and the seasons, the waves, the energy of the water in and out, that this is part of the journey. There is no need to get tripped up when you start feeling lost. There's no need to get tripped up when you start feeling really, you don't know what's going on anymore. Because part of the ascension process, this is totally new, uncharted territory, and we don't know what to do. This has never been done before. And it keeps on they keep on coming back to the desires of the soul, the deep desires of the heart, that you were born with. Remember, and so much of this is connected to being of service. So much of this is also connected to truth. So much of this is connected to support. So much of this is connected to, at a very deep, universal level, to being here to help, to be of service, however you see that and however it resonates for you. And that's going to look differently for everyone. It's going to look differently for everyone. And the healing that's necessary to take place on an individual level, and the healing that then is needed at a collective level. Essentially, we all have different roles to play. That's how they're showing it to me. And now they want me to get to the discernment, the difference between judgment and the difference between discernment. So they've asked me to pull out these two cards here from the Major Arcana, okay, from the Rider-Waite-Smith, Pamela's Genius, to show you the contrast and the similarity between justice and judgment. They directed me first to the fact that the Justice card is 11 in this deck, and the Judgment card is 20. They both reduce to a 2. So there is a connection here to this divine feminine energy, necessary, and this is very Venusian in its energy, the divine feminine energy that is necessary at the moment to redress this balance taking place. And now they're directing me to the Justice card and the scales in the Justice card and Lady Justice and this idea of balance, okay? So before we get to the judgment, we have to be discerning. And most people are very quick to simply get to this and judge. You can almost look at this like a spectrum that goes in both directions, where if we're not discerning properly, then the judgment is not sound. Whereas when we are discerning properly, the judgment comes from a place of discernment, a place of integration or balance is how they're showing it to me. Now, discernment and the energy of discernment is very much an energy that's connected to our intuition, right? And this goes back to it being an 11. This goes back to it being a number 2 when you reduce that, right? Now, what's interesting in the Justice card is that this figure is wearing red, and there's a red backdrop here. This goes back to being grounded and rooted. This goes back to being in the body. This is a very divine feminine principle, to be in the body. Judgment and discernment through judgment, right? Or through discernment, judgment is clear when we are listening. This is how they're showing it to me, through the body. Now, when this is connected to you feeling scattered, they keep on coming back to the energy of being grounded, the energy of being in the body, and the energy of listening, getting quiet and listening, being rooted like that tree. So currently, this is also where they're showing me you access the deep desires of your heart and soul. The deep desires you are born with, the desires templated in your soul. Not the fleeting desires that come and go, that are up here in this energy. The desires also that have you too much in the mind, because how they're showing this manipulation to me is through the mind and through the emotional body. That's how they're showing it. But the body cannot be touched. The instinct cannot be touched. That's essentially protected. They're directing me to the sword here. And they're directing me to, this is connected to Archangel Michael for me. So that energy, and there are many depictions of Archangel Michael holding a scale and having a sword in his hand, right? These are those energies of protection, because when you are in this grounded state, when you are coming back to your body and when you are listening, you are able to make sound judgments. You are able to make sound judgments, okay? Now, what I'm hearing is, like, from the collective, what I'm hearing is like, oh, well, that's easier said than done. This has to be made a practice. Archangel Michael energy coming right in here to be like, and Commander Ashtar, I'm feeling it the same thing. And I'm going to hold up Lady Justice here as I close out this reading. This is victimhood consciousness. Easier said than done. Easier said than done. That means you stay in this energy. You don't move out of this energy. You don't even try. You let your emotions get the best of you. You let your thoughts get the best of you. Is that what you came here to do? They're not mincing their words, and they don't play when they say this, because, and right now my right ear is going bonkers. There's something about the timing in this that is incredibly important right now. You need to get on this. Like, there are no more excuses when it comes to, oh, easier said than done. Find a way, is what they're saying. Start with the body. They keep on bringing me back to this image of the tree. Find what grounds you in a healthy way and do it, and start doing it every day, because going forward, you are going to need this going forward. You are going to need this to be in this energy, and they're directing me to this like ready orange, again, flag here, and this red feather here. You need, in order for you to truly be of any service, to truly heal, to truly be on point or on path here in what you're doing, you need to make this a priority. This has to be the thing that you make a priority. This is where the discernment, because going forward, and this is the sort of preamble, and I'm going to end it here. Going forward, there's going to be a lot of energies here collectively trying to rattle your discernment. Big time. They keep on directing me back to this devil energy card. You have to be, and the word barometer keeps on coming through. Barometer, barometer. We know what a barometer is, right? It's a tool of measurement. You are that, your body is a tool for discernment. It's a barometer for discernment. And it's up to you individually to find out what that is. And it starts with getting grounded. It starts with being rooted. It starts with trusting your body. What is your body trying to tell you? It starts with listening. It starts with embracing these divine feminine energies. These energies that are very open to receiving information, receiving clarity is how they're showing it to me, listening, and not trying to force any kind of issue, any sort of, they keep on showing me just this energy of you being stuck and trying to figure it out mentally. You're not going to figure it out that way. We are not going to figure it out that way. It's only going to get us in a loop is what they're showing me. A loop. They're showing me like the Two of Pentacles now. Let me see if I can find that quick before I close out this reading. The Two of Pentacles, just this sort of like very unwavering, it's going to keep you stuck in that energy. Here we go. You'll be stuck in that energy. Oh, and you know what? This was right next to it, so I'm going to pull that out. You see the waves here? You know? This wobbly energy. They're showing this to me like a dunce cap. Like, do you want to be stuck in this energy? Is this how you want to be? Close out all the, essentially what I'm hearing is the bullshit that you are being fed. Close it out. Know that you're protected and safe. Call in protection. Affirm that you are protected. And go within and listen. These are twos coming out again. This two energy is everywhere. Okay? And what's interesting is that devil card reduces to a 6, right? And that's the Lovers. And that is, again, the energies of Venus coming through, because the devil and the Lovers sit on a spectrum. These Venusian energies understand this really well. These are Christ consciousness energies, the energies of Commander Ashtar in discernment, and Archangel Michael as well. Okay. I'm going to end the reading there. I hope that this has supported you in some way. Thank you to Commander Ashtar. Thank you to Archangel Michael for coming through for this as well. The energies of Christ and the Venusian energies coming through to support us during this time. I'm sending you so much love wherever you are, in love and liberation always.